Someone might ask, why is fasting so important? What does it do? Well, it's important because it disciplines us and teaches us to operate by principle rather than appetite. It's saying no to our impulses, saying no to something as basic and natural as eating food, puts into check our other cravings, our other passions, if you will. And so it was it's something that just doesn't show up on the scene in the New Testament. The Bible mentions fasting 70 times. Even the Byzantines viewed the fall as a breaking of the fast. And like you see in the book of Acts, our journey became rough because the fast was broken. Fasting, it was deeply ingrained into the Israelite consciousness of worship for God, being the most holy day of the Israeli calendar, day of fasting. And so Jesus himself said that his disciples are the friends of the bride chamber, his friends will fast. People tasked with guarding the bride, the church. And so it teaches us to just to not be driven by appetites or passions, but to be driven by filled with integrity, filled with devotion to God. It's an act of worship. When we fast, we're offering up our bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to Him. There's so much going on in Isaiah 58, from our light shining forth like the noonday, our healing quickly appearing. This is national healing in the Hebrew. Our light, it speaks of the same word was used to breach of a dam. So it's light exploding out. To the Hebrew and Greek conceptions, the stomach was the seat of passions or desires. David chastised his personality with weeping and fasting. He corrected with whipping the seat of his emotions, seat of his intellect, the seat of his will, his desires, intentions, motives, all with fasting. Jesus himself often went without food. The apostles were often in fastings. In fact, Scripture says in 1 Thessalonians that the gospel can be preached in word and power, or just in word. And if you look around at a society spiraling down into degradation like ours, it's obvious that the gospel is not being preached in word and power. These are victims of a word-only gospel because the pastors are not standing in that gap and allowing God to make them that well-watered garden and pouring themselves out for the afflicted. Man cannot talk to man about God until he's first talked to God about the man. Before we preach for an hour, we'd better weep between the porch and the altar and spend ourselves with fasting every Wednesday and Friday like the early church did. There was an apostolic fast that was carried on. Church tradition says 250 years. And John Wesley wouldn't allow anybody preach on his team if they did not fast for 2 days.